Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video I just want to go over some battles that I did about 2 days ago on the first day of Masters. Some teams, so two interesting teams that, second day, because the first day I did the challenge thing, which should be up by the time I post this. So let's go ahead and get started. The first team I think was Metagross double flyers. Yeah, and essentially the flyers are meant to go ahead and bait out the Malmetal, and then Metagross is meant to take it out. I don't know if Metagross is necessarily the best counter to these like anti-steals, because it has like a very iffy matchup with Melmetal. It certainly beats Melmetal in most scenarios, but it's like really bait dependent, and you need to land the Earthquake eventually, and ideally shield the first superpower. So I think like suitable replacements to this, it would be like you can run a version with Swampert, for example, or Excadrill. Excadrill probably the best one there. Excadrill has a worse matchup against Malmetal than Swampert, but is still pretty strong here. I'm just gonna no shield here, and then I'm gonna build up some energy here with Yveltal, and then I'm gonna take this because it's already double debuffed, even though I'm pretty squishy here. And as I predicted this when I was doing the battles, that likely they have a Mewtwo in the back, so this is pretty good for me. We do CMP tie here. I do have to shield this because luckily it is going to be a Focus Blast. And then I'm in a really good spot here. This Dark Pulse does like 80% to Mewtwo, so I should be able to take it out pretty easily. And then I have a Meteor Mash banked on Metagross. So the combination of this Dark Pulse plus the Meteor Mash is definitely going to be enough to take out this Giratina Origin. Okay, and then, yeah, this matchup's over, so it's going to be a GG there. All right. Okay, we're going to go into this next battle here. Starting a little late here, Metagross versus Zekrom. A very iffy matchup here. As you can see, we're both doing about the same amount of like fast move pressure. We both resist each other's fast moves. Obviously, Dragon Breath is better than Bullet Punch. I'm gonna go straight for the Earthquake. Maybe I should bait here, but it's a really tough call because if they do read it, and then I do have to switch here just in case they have a Melmetal. They end up having a Dialga here, which is just as good for me to bait out. Because even though I can one-shot it with Focus Blast with Yveltal, but it's just a really iffy matchup with shields up. It's like Yveltal is pretty squishy, so it can definitely. I thought about did I shield here? I shielded here, which was probably a mistake. Yeah, I think ultimately this was a mistake on my side. What did they come into? Zekrom here, just because Zekrom is like very dangerous with its charge moves. So if I were to redo this, I probably wouldn't have I wouldn't have shielded, and I would have just farmed down with Metagross. Okay, and then yeah, this is pretty much game over here. Unfortunately, the Rhyperior is just a little bit too challenging for me. I do end up getting the Focus Blast off here. Maybe I should have baited because they're clearly building up some additional energy. But yeah, well played by my opponent. This Rock Record does like a tremendous amount of damage. With Stab, there's just no chance for me here. Like a Surf will pretty much KO me at this range. So preserving the shield probably would have been better. I would have been able to build up some energy on Metagross and potentially outpace the Zekrom. And then I would have like a pretty even matchup with Rhyperior versus Yveltal when it comes to zero shield matchup. So this is an example of the matchup. It's quite uncomfortable, to be honest. I think I let this. I can't remember if I shielded or let it go. I didn't. They end up rock sliding baiting me here. This is why this matchup's so uncomfortable. Because I end up yeah, getting rock slided. And then they have no shielding, which is very good for me. They're obviously going to superpower here. And I'm going to look to farm down. I'm going to look to safe switch here. A little bit of lag there, but that's totally fine. I safe switch there because in case they do have something else that that I want to bait out and use Metagross to face. I'm not going to shield this. You know, Lugia is pretty tanky. I'm actually going to bait here. I'm not... Yeah, I bait here because I can make it to another Sky Attack. Yeah, and this Sky Attack won't KO, but at least allow me to chip away at this Giratina. And then as well... it's really close there. And then as well, it allows me to stall the clock a little bit in case I need to switch out of the Yveltal matchup here. So I end up no-shielding this because I expect this to be a Shadow Ball, which I should be able to easily tank. And then they have Landorus here. Obviously Landorus, this one likely has Superpower Stone Edge. So I am going to throw this. And then I'm going to switch out to Metagross to try to force the Landorus to throw a Superpower at me, which will debuff the Landorus, which will make it less likely that they're going to be able to KO me with Stone Edge. Oh, they actually end up Stone Edging, which was a very weird call, especially since I think they end up switching out here. I believe they actually Superpower bait me here, which is a really interesting move. And then they switch out. So I think they might have won if they went Superpower and then baited and then reset, and then they probably would have made it to the Stone Edge, non-debuffed. And non-debuffed Stone Edge would certainly KO with that health range. So a little bit fortunate on my side that my opponent probably didn't like optimize the gameplay, but it's always really tough here. This is oh man, so this is one advantage of Metagross over like a Swampert, is that it does much better against Dragonite, which Yveltal struggles against, and then Lugia has a good matchup against it. So I do have to eventually switch. So they superpower me here. That's just not great. And I let this go as well. Do I switch here? Okay. I shield this one. And then I think I save this and I go to... Nope. Okay. I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake here. I expect them to have another counter to Metagross. They come into Dragonite. Obviously, they want to farm down here. And yeah, there's their harder counter. So this is going to be very iffy situation here. I definitely should have went into Yveltal rather than into Lugia, because this is like basically my only answer to Dragonite once Metagross is gone. And I'm gonna go for the Aeroblast, hoping that it's gonna KO the Excadrill. I think Excadrill actually just barely survives, but doesn't get off the move. I'm not sure they actually purposely didn't throw, because I thought they would get to the Rock Slide, considering they got the Mud Shot through, and they just wanted some more farm with Dragonite. I have to switch here, but this is a very rough situation here, given how much energy they had. So they actually I end up winning the game there. So they would have went Dragon Claw and straight Dragon Clawed me there. Then obviously it's a 50-50 call, so it would have been pretty tough here. So this is the one disadvantage, is that Metagross has like such an iffy matchup with Dialga because it's not doing super effective with the fast moves here, and this Meteor Mash is only going to hit for resisted damage. Does a lot still, but I'm able to get the bait. I do have to be careful of Draco, because Draco basically KOs me. As you can see, I'm actually losing the fast move war by a significant margin here. They throw the Iron Head, which is fine. And I think they end up throwing an Iron Head right here. I know for sure that this can't be a Draco Meteor or a Thunder, so I end up no-shielding it. And then I end up going for the Earthquake here. And then I think I switch. If they shield this, yeah, I have to switch. I go to Yveltal here, and they come into Mamoswine, which is amazing for me. And usually I say switch into Lugia, but for some reason I say switch into Yveltal for whatever reason. They CMP tie me to the Focus Blast, so this is a nice play on their side. And I'm going to be able to land the Focus Blast, which is really nice here. and I'm looking pretty good in my current situation. I'm not going to be able to make it to a Focus Blast, so I am going to just Dark Pulse it. And this is probably a little bit sooner than they were expecting, but the Dark Pulse does quite a bit of damage. As you can see, I'm actually able to snarl down the Dialga, and then I'm in a very good spot here. I bank it for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not going to be able to make it to the Arrow Blast, or the Arrow Blast would KO. If I came in with even energy, I should be able to make it. They're going to have to Thunder me or Blizzard me. And then once they do, they're not going to have enough energy to take out my Yveltal, so I'm going to be able to land the Dark Pulse. I could have threw the Dark Pulse, and then for sure I could just Sky Attack, but I thought this was just the safer plan, just so they don't get the move off, because it's very unlikely they come out with energy after my Lugia. Okay, so I believe this is the... Oh yeah, this is the other team here, which is Mewtwo, Dialga, Yveltal here. This is kind of an iffy team here because I'm really weak to Melmetal, but I had some okay matchups here. Dragonite's actually like a losing matchup in the 1 shield, and I think I ended up winning the 0. But I lagged a little bit there, so I actually wasn't sure that what they were going to be at. So I do come into I do have to come into here because if they have a Melmetal in the back, which is pretty likely with the Dragonite lead, so I really don't have a choice here. I really hope that I can make it to the move here, but I'm just not able to. I have a Psystrike banked. Well, this Dragonite's going to be like really tough, too tough in the back. So I throw the move here, and then I end up no-shielding. They shield here because they have so much energy. So I end up no-shielding this because I know that they're like 2 away from our Rock Wrecker. And I was just hoping that they would surf here so I could potentially make it to their move, but they go for the correct play here, and they have the Rock Wrecker. I played on the Rhyperior side before, so this is all pretty standard here. And then they have a Melmetal here, and yeah, I was hoping to make it the Focus Blast beforehand, but there's just no chance for me here. I'm going to build up 2 100 energy here. I could like strategically undercharge and then try to get like 1 more Snarl in, but it really doesn't matter here. I'm not going to be able to beat this Dragonite. It pretty much had a Dragon Claw already. So unless I already had the move, then there was just no chance for me. So well played by my opponent there. Yeah, so they definitely had a Melmetal in back, so that's why I had to go. But then they ended up having two counters, which is pretty rough for me. So they end up switching out here. So I do have Yveltal. So I'm just gonna stay in this matchup versus the Lugia. I tried to actually catch the move there, but the game lagged for me, which is very annoying there because I threw 4 Psycho Cuts and then I switched in order to try to catch the move, which is like 1 turn less than. So I go straight Shadow Ball there. No one shields their Lugia anyway, so I do have to go here. I can't stay because I unfortunately have to shield this move. I have to shield it because it's going to be a Focus Blast. There's no reason for them to bait, especially since they have Groudon here. I end up throwing the Iron Head here, which they end up shielding, which is good for me. And I think they end up worrying that I had like Togekiss in the back. Because they end up shielding against my Mewtwo here. So I built up a little bit of energy before switching, and I'm going to throw the Psystrike here. And I wasn't actually expecting them to shield, so I'm actually going to build up some energy here. I know they're energy dry on Yveltal. They actually gave me a little bit of a scare here, because I think we end up CMP tying here. I was like, no way. If you look on the stream, I was like, there's no way this can be a Focus Blast. It ended up being a Dark Pulse. So I'm going to Focus Blast here. I try to undercharge it so I can get 1 additional Snarl. End up over-tapping there. So they throw a really nice time there. So they threw 4 Mud Shots, then threw the move, which only gives me 1 turn. And then they do 1, and then they throw. Again, only giving me 1 turn. So really, really nice play by the opponent there. Unfortunate for them is that I'm gonna be able to make it to. Oh, actually, no, I end up surviving the fire punch because they need to earthquake me here, and then I'm able to make it to the side strike here, which will certainly KO the crowd on. I'm not sure what's better, Focus Blast or a Shadow Ball. I do have, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so Togekiss here, this is okay. So I like to throw at 7. So I do 2 past the side strike. And then this guarantees that they can't get a charm through because I'm throwing in the middle of the charm. And then I end up giving them, I concede 1 turn. And then I'm going to throw 4 here and then throw. So now they're at, they end up letting it go. And then I end up going to Dialga here. Again, I want to bait out this anti-Evitel, which they end up having. Gonna let this go. I don't think I make it to the Draco here. So I settle for the Iron Head. I've lost so many times, lost so much energy trying to make it to a Draco. And this puts them into Side Strike range, which is really nice. But they have quite a bit of energy, but I don't need... Okay, so I actually end up making a huge misplay here. My opponent played really well. So they have too much health for me to eventually farm down with Evitel. So I end up throwing the move here. And they end up trying to catch the move. And I bank it. So I'm like, okay, I know when I win CMP versus Evitel versus Excadrill with Mewtwo. And I was like, oh, Evitel must win CMP versus this versus Excadrill, right? So they Dragon Pulse me here. And I know for sure this is not another Dragon Pulse, but I'm like, oh, I'll just play it safe, just in case it is a Dragon Pulse, because I'm going to be able to get to the Dark Pulse here, and then I can just Dark Pulse them. And then I know they have a move, and I was like, oh, whoa, I lost CMP here, and Evitel just barely loses CMP to it, and then obviously I tried to double up there, but it was pointless there. So unfortunately, I should have ended up winning that game if I would just no shielded beforehand. So I end up going to the mirror. I'm a little bit behind because of the switch, and then we end up being lining up because they end up throwing basically right away, so no Snarl went through, I believe there. So I'm in a pretty good spot here. The Focus Blast doesn't KO, but it does do a lot of damage. So here comes the Excadrill. I'm actually able to make it to the Focus Blast, which is really nice. We end up CP tying, which is super nice. So I Focus Blast here, hoping that they don't shield. And if they do shield, that's not a big deal either. So they're... Okay, very nice timing on their side. They basically throw right before I make it to the move. And then I have to go to Mewtwo here. And I'm going to let this go. And then we're actually going to CMP tie to the Shadow Ball. So I was very lucky to get the Psycho Cut there. So this should be a CMP tie to the Drill Run. And this Shadow Ball is going to be enough to KO. The Side Strike wouldn't have been enough. Maybe it would have been close. And then here comes Evital. And then there's Mewtwo in the back. So they have no reason not to Focus Blast me here. So I'm going to shield this. And then I'm going to build up. And then I'm going to throw here before they get to Side Strike because I don't want to be put into Dark Pulse range. And then I should be able to make it to the Draco before they're able to make it to the Focus Blast. So I'm going to be able to win the game right here. And I believe I actually have one more match here. So this team is interesting. It certainly has its challenges as well, but Mewtwo is just a really strong Pokemon in general. Okay, so I'm gonna go into Dialga here, and then I'm gonna go into Melmetal. So what I do is I always wait for them to throw the first superpower. If they Rock Slide me here, I won't throw the Draco, and then as soon as they throw the superpower, I throw the Draco. And the reason why I do this is because obviously I wanted to throw the Draco after the defenses dropped one stage, and as you can see, they almost get KO'd here, and they got a little bit too greedy here, and I'm actually able to shield here, and that Dragon Breath that got through ended up KOing their Pokemon. And then I end up going for another Draco here, and I actually think they end up no shielding here because they thought it was an Iron Head or something, and or they didn't think it was going to KO. And then here comes Mamoswine. This is actually still a little bit of a tough matchup here, so I'm going to no shield. I actually thought this matchup ended because I think I did that to someone else. But they end up staying. I'm going to throw a no shield this because I need to preserve. I basically need to take both shields with Mewtwo here. And then I need to switch to... Do I need to switch here? Oh, they end up no shielding here. I'm not entirely sure why. They certainly could have farmed me down, and then it would have been a really close game. I probably would need to catch an avalanche. But we had a really fun time with Master League and with these teams. I'm going to prepare some more videos with some teams I use and teams that other people use, both in Element, Master League, and Open Masters. So, again, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.